Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. So how was your morning today?
Today's been good. Today's
It's
been
good.
good. Good,
How
good.
how was yesterday?
Oh my gosh. This week has been kind of slow. Waiting on sundown and CPRM really has kind of helped me up on moving ahead.
Right.
So, and I'm really trying to pay attention to the alerts you give, and I'm really trying to, and I'm going to ask the same questions that I've asked you before. So I hope
Right.
it's okay.
No, it's okay. Any questions
But
are
I'm
okay.
really trying to get these. All right. So I want to go back over the time frames again. I'm having issues with knowing which time frame to look at when. And all right, so I asked you yesterday about, once we get the pre-market list and waiting on market open to see which one's flush, and then about an hour afterwards to see which one has momentum. But I got that far, but I want to know what I'm looking for when I get to that, I guess around 10:30 time. If we could repeat that again, I know you've gone over it, but if we could repeat it again, that would be helpful for me. And my other question is, I'm trying to determine how you're determining your entry points and your exit points when you're charting, um, because I don't know if you're using the Fitzo to do it, or you're. I don't know exactly how you're doing it. Again, I'm lost again. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it's okay. I mean, it's because this the whole fits on the price action and all that. It can be confusing, but for the first question, like you were mentioning about what type of time frame I will need to focus in. Well, I don't really focus this in one. I usually, me, I focus in uh a couple. Like it has to match, 3, 2, and then sometimes it just all depends how many are, like how many are bullish, not just one, but how many time frames are bullish. If, for example, if the bottom ones are failing, then that means like daily, weekly, or even monthly is in control. And in control means whoever's respecting K on D. So that's something that I'm gonna go something here, but the only time frames like I was mentioning to this other member was I wait on resets, right? I wait on the correction because, for example, if you're gonna, exit into an oversold, there's no point because it's almost the same thing you catch in the heat. The heat will bring your price down, right? It's gonna make you catch the wrong entry, and then you're gonna
Right.
follow the price and the Fed. So when it comes down to correct, it's almost the same thing. You're gonna exit into the potential correction to come back and run heat, and price will follow. Sometimes it's not going to be, a higher high, but it could be a lower high. And a lower high meaning that you'll see that it's a lower high by the Fed. So the Fed ran heat but didn't give you a higher high. Instead, it give you a lower high, but it still recover you. Let's just say, probably half of your money back instead of you,
Right. Okay.
losing so
Mm-hmm.
much. So that's your weakness or your exits is never on the into the oversold. It's never into the also. Is always is going to be into the heat. So, for example, whenever you want to base, like I was mentioning, the only time frames that I'm willing to wait on resets is daily because it can take a month to reset fully. I mean, the 4 hours can take, a week, 2 weeks to reset fully and then run your profit. A daily can take you a month to come reset and run your profit again. A weekly can take so long, which is 4 months, 5 months to reset and come back and make you profit again. That's too long for me. The only one that I'm willing to wait is the daily, the 4 hours, and so on. But that's basing that weekly and monthly. It's bullish on the FEDSO, and that is the reason why I'm giving it the time for lower time frames to
Jose.
reset, based on those higher time frames. So yes,
Jose.
right now I know I threw kind of a lot of you. So for example, like I said, I want to make sure like your first question, how do I base which ones to focus in? We're gonna go on to the first one. Let's go into one which is who ran. CIM ran. This for an example. This was messy today. I mean Friday was messy because we weren't focused on this. This is just I kind of did watch the on it because he had a good range, as you can see, 425, 452. That's 25 cents, and just it could be just a 1 minute reset, which is you see 429, and then this one based on the 5 as well.
Your speaker is going in and out.
Let me see. Can you hear me now?
Jose,
Yes, I think she can
your
hear.
speaker was going in and out. I couldn't hear you. Could you repeat that?
Okay, can you hear me now? You can hear
It's
me,
kind
right?
of robotic.
Robotic. Huh.
Yeah, I can hear you good now. Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yep, perfect.
Okay, cool. So like I was mentioning on this one, it was all base. You can see this was 425 on a 5 minutes reset, and it goes up to 470, and then you have this other one that's a little messy, but like I said, this sometimes this becomes messy because bigger time frames are in control. So what I mean by that is, if you go to 15, for example, you're gonna see 15 here, right here, goes a full downtrend. No, this was not even what was the day that we were trading this? Yep, it was actually that day. This one. The reason here, look, market open, right? Oh, actually, this was a little messy. But do you remember trading us CYCN on Thursday? Were you with us on that day?
Yeah, I didn't get in because I was
Or you didn't get it?
yeah, I couldn't figure out when to get in because it was moving too fast or too slow or something and I didn't get in.
Oh, okay. So let's go. Okay, this one ran perfectly, which I'm gonna show you because this one has the same patterns as many. Ontix was another one, CNDL, and those is all based on higher time frames. So okay, we're gonna go to the first one here. You're gonna notice this one's it was on a 53 whenever we first trading. We were waiting on this movement. There was a lot of news coming in. So, you know, so overall, I'm gonna show you here. This is messy, right? And you're gonna notice that the end of it of 76 what's made a run so much into 120. But you're going to notice is this whole movement here was a whole reset. And if I put these two lines here, you're gonna focus this as reset, right? And let's go to a higher time frame.
Mhm.
You see how daily comes down and he almost reset. But now this is
Okay.
ADX. Remember how I was telling you lower time frames are a little messy. You have to depend on the higher time frames that K is respecting D. So this one's not respecting, K is not respecting. It's actually in the downtrend. When you go into a higher time frame,
Okay, so what do you mean by K respecting D? What does that mean?
K is the orange line, D is the blue
Yes,
line.
but what does it mean by respecting the D?
It means is using it as support. Is not
Right.
crossing.
Uh-huh.
Like for example, here, you notice this movement here on the FEDSO. In this FEDSO, this whole downtrend to the FEDSO was the 4 hours coming into a reset. That area here, you're going to notice the same on daily. Come on, give me daily. There goes daily. Oh, the same area of daily, it was already downtrending. So overall, you wouldn't be depending. Like I was mentioning, remember how I was mentioning to you earlier that I'm willing to wait for daily resetting and
Yes.
I'm willing to wait for the 4 hours to reset, but I never really wait for the weekly to reset. But this is why daily was willing to reset. It's still at the lower high. Last price of lower high is 58 cents. The daily reset was pretty much almost done. It was past midway, but it was still sitting in the 66 area. So that's still, a higher low. So once the daily is done, even if it starts holding 55, 56, even in the 60 area, that's still strong to me for this daily to make a correction to the higher high based on who, 4 hours was resetting. So me knowing that daily was almost done, 4 hours is resetting. And then here's the trick part. Weekly K, it's sitting on the D. So that is giving the potential to bounce off and go into an upward move when the 4 hours, is done the reset. So like I said, you have to use weekly, daily, bigger time frames. When I mean by bigger time frames, I'm talking, daily, weekly, and monthly. So for example, on this one, not just this one, if we go into the monthly, you can see monthly straight in a bullish mode. You don't want to wait on this thing to come all the way down here, because that's going to be when weekly fails, when K comes into D, because price is the K. Price is
Right.
K. Just know that price follows K and K follows price. If the price goes up like this off K, right, you're going to notice that when K stretches off D, then price is going to go back down. I mean, I'm sorry. When K stretches off D, K is going to come back down to D and use D as support to bounce more. So for example, this area, you're going to notice here that it did the pop, right? That pop right here is a stretch here
Right.
into K. Then price came back into consolidation, or, selling. And then it came back again and it bounced higher. If you notice here, price opened up on this monthly one. He opened up at 203, and then he came back down to 116. The next one, he stayed in the 110. I'm sorry, he opened up in the 139, and then he came back down to 109 to close into 134. So, but that potential here, you see this here? That was the price of up and down, up and down. And when price, which is K, came into D and it had the higher high bounce, the price follow into a higher high
Okay.
mode. So what I'm saying is overall, K's price, K is gonna either, if K goes up, stretches up like that, price is gonna boom up. So if I zoom in into this one here, you're
Your
gonna,
mic's going back out.
yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, can you, is it working now? Gonna have to have,
Jose,
yeah, let me
your
see.
mic is going back out again.
Oops.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Here, let me see. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to
Okay, so right here, let me ask you this.
see if you can answer that. So in case there, whenever, no, actually no, that just in case if it keeps bugging, then I'm just going to
Oh, okay. That
put
was
you
you.
there.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's me.
I'm
But I'm
going
gonna
to
just leave it
decline it
here in
now.
case. Yeah, just decline it for now.
All right. So let me ask you a question right here.
Right.
Okay. So you see the lines that you put on here so far, right? You have, which is, I guess, your support line at the bottom, or your entry points and your exit points. How did you come up with these lines?
Based on higher highs. You see at this higher high here. Okay, so especially momentum. For example, I'm gonna give you. We can see if we can look for tickers. When it comes to potential and and PTs, you're gonna notice, for example, BIOL. Why I'm saying that the potential is 140 over 140. Let's go down here again. You see 150, this higher high. You see what we're trading at right now. It's 126, 127. My potential is going to be the higher of this, because if you're going to notice that here, he runs the high, then comes back down, and then he runs the high, and then he comes back down. So why wouldn't you profit into the higher high and then let it come back down and then re-enter if he wants to run another higher high again? Sometimes you're going to catch these big higher highs. Sometimes you're going to catch this, you know, small higher high, but then look how much, price just eventually just comes down again. So what I'm saying is our potential is always the previous mountain peak, because that's pretty much where you want to exit, but based on constantly potential. So even here, if this area is for example, here you're gonna see this is 180, there's another one 64, and this is 96. He already ran 60, he already ran over 64, and it's sitting around this 64. So my potential next is this 82, to run this 82. And then guess who's next? 96. So either 82, and if it runs 82, it'll go to 96. So if we could scroll, and you're gonna see here, he runs pretty much 80, 96, and he goes into the $1. So now if I go back here, we're gonna see if we can see, look, you're gonna notice 173, 2, and so on. But then you have this support of 115. We move this line in there, and if we go back to this line here,
Your mic is
115,
bugging again.
yeah, we're gonna have to kind of see what it says. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because that's what I was mentioning here in chat that I was having an internet issue recently, and then I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's
Mm-hmm.
my motor, but it's been acting up where it's not clicking. But okay, so for example, like as I was mentioning, remember how we moved the line to 115?
Yes.
We're gonna move here, and you're gonna notice it barely moved. That's what it ran, a higher high of 115 to 138. But then look what happened. It came back down. Now the potential is another higher high, which is if I would have been on here, my potential now would have been over 138. And that's whenever, remember how I was mentioning the first alert was over 140. And that's what we got. We got the 150. So I unlocked, and then we alerted again for 150 again. So that's what's pretty much what we're waiting on now is to run this 150. So that's how you pretty much come up with PTs. And even if we go back to this one that was alerted to Friday. Okay, this is one. You're gonna notice my alert was over $3, and that's what the alert was, 270, $3. So first one you're gonna notice is here. You already ran 141. You got this one here, that's 176. So if he wants to keep running, and especially this daily wants to kind of potentially keep running up, we're looking for two higher high potentials and two PTs, which is this one of 270. And if he runs 270, he goes into 292. So if he runs 292, even by the looks of this weekly, I mean on this daily, because this is just daily, we're gonna go deeply. Let's go deeply here into weekly. Weekly is pretty much starting to uptrend as well. And you can notice that it's messy, right? But you see this recoveries that's happening? It crosses,
Mm-hmm.
recovers, crosses, recovers. So we go back to the daily. You can see the same thing, downtrend, but then goes up and then crosses this and then recovers. This is saying that I'm sorry, this is saying that in a bigger time frame, weekly is not in control because it's messy. So we're gonna go to monthly. If you see monthly, we're not having that crossing or anything like that. But then we zoom in into the monthly, you're gonna see that our first PT here is 296, 270, 290. That's what the alert was in. So this is why, because it's sitting before that. So if this candle wants to fill up that one or create a wick, then it's gonna create a wick of a higher high. And based on this, and based on the monthly, see what it's sitting, Burley? It's sitting here. We're looking at if this thing is sitting at the 296,
Okay.
the monthly momentum has room to come to the 6 area. But we're talking about a monthly momentum. We're talking about a monthly momentum. So monthly momentum could take quite a while to get to here. It could take 6 months, but the potential is there. And based on the buyers that's happening now, that is the idea when you're attacking these things, because you're not going to attack, you know, a downtrend momentum like this kind of thing. Or even if it's sitting on heat and then it fails, you're not going to try to attack that, because you're going to notice here this downtrend momentum goes from
Let's
14,
see. Let me see. 736.
goes from 14 to
Huh.
6. But look how long it takes. This is I think this is May, right? May to
Yeah.
takes quite a while, almost a year. You see how long it takes? Takes a year. You're gonna want to wait a year to downtrend this thing. That's too long.
Mm, that's a long time.
Yep, too long. So okay, for example, like I say, you don't wait that weekly, you don't wait a monthly to downtrend. You only wait on on certain time frames to reset. So now weekly is bullish, and this is the reason why when something like this recovers midway, that's saying that a bigger time frame to control, but also buyers. And you can see that it downtrends, then uptrends, downtrends, and uptrends, but eventually uptrends. So what it's saying is this eventually is filling up to has intentions of higher highs, of even building what what, especially monthly. Remember how I was mentioning that it has the potential to go to $6-7 overall in
Right.
longer term. So what I'm saying is it's building up again to run the 425 and running into 6 in a longer time frames. And based on this weekly, Sometimes, like I say, it's gonna be messy like this, but it's gonna potentially look at this midway recovery. You see this one? This is a good example. You see how it goes midway, but look at the look at the run that does here. It goes from 180 to 4. So what are the chances that this thing can do almost the same thing and run, you know, a nice squeeze and goes up? Because based on this action, this is one, so it must have it has a float, probably not too big, but not too small either. Yep, 13 mil. So that's pretty low. Based on 2 million, meaning that this thing can squeeze dollars the day that it wants to run. If price comes in and so on and so on. So ACT, there's another one. You can notice this is just my histories. But overall, whenever we were first coming into this ticker, it was 62. No, we were coming in from here, 33. So overall, you're gonna see here the daily resets, and then my first potential here is 50. This is why I was saying 60-60 whenever we were first on it into the 33, because the higher high, as you're gonna notice here, he runs the higher high, then it comes back down. So overall, 60 and then one. I was saying 60 or one, 60 or one, because if you run 60 and based on the momentum, once he runs that 60 and I see that momentum still has a lot of room, why wouldn't we just want to wait in the momentum to run the heat? So I was saying 60 because 60 it's like the high of here. You run 60, and if momentum, you see momentum all the way over here when he runs at 60, then you're gonna be like that thing took too much momentum in the Fed. So I'm gonna get out because K stretch up too much of D, which is you can see here K off D, and then it comes back down.
Mm-hmm.
Guess this pop here is this pops comes into here. It pops. You're gonna see the stretch pops, and then it comes back down. And look where price goes up. It comes back down.
Mm,
Let me see if
right.
I can clean that a little bit. See, I don't think
So you don't want the big gaps in the K and the D. Those are not good.
you don't want it to be too much off extended. You don't want this little gap to be like so much off. Because for example, even this one here, like I said, price goes up. Like this is a reset, right? It comes back down. And you're gonna see here when it goes up,
Mm-hmm.
stretches price up. And then it goes back down. So this selling, that's the selling that comes back here. But look where it holds. It holds the higher low. And then it gets what goes up again. But even then, you're gonna notice that momentum was here, barely, setting up for an uptrend, and look where price was at. So this is just saying that he still wants more. So this is why we've been holding for the one, and he ran us the one. The reason why this thing took a huge hit here is because you see this run of 109 here. This is when market opened. This means that
Yes.
ACT ran from this. It ran from 75 all the way to one after hours and pre-market, and it wasn't printed in the candle action into the daily because the action happened after hours and
Because
pre-market.
it was after hours and it don't show
It
daily.
don't show in the yeah exactly. It doesn't show on our daily or weekly, so it creates that gap. So when market
Mm-hmm.
open came, this thing was already trading at 110. So the gap here between here from last day, it's huge. So guess who comes up to? He wants to fill that gap. And then buyers comes in. And you can see that we're sitting pretty much on a nice daily recovery because this daily recovery, you can already see even this stretched out back. So the reason this has a nice recovery, let's go to weekly. You see how weekly is already showing that it's in the
So
book.
that's what you mean by real quick. That's what you mean is trying to fill the gap. So basically, because there's no gap the gap we don't see, what you're saying is the next couple of candles wants to go back and fix where the gap was.
Right, because this is the first gap that I just filled. You're gonna see here, this is just no action here based on news offering or whatever happened here. There was no enough trading, to print out. So even this, this is another reaction that must have probably been another offering, as you can see, because I know CTR had a lot of offerings. Remember that one drop that he had at 17 as well?
Yeah.
He had that drop, and then that's the one that when creepy guy brought it up, and he was like, hey, offering on this one. And we're like, okay, and then we noticed a reaction back. It was 24 again right after the offering the next day. Like, okay, this thing wants to go up again. So, now it wants to fill this gap. So that's what happened. It was that the first potential, we were waiting here. The offering happened again here. So this first gap potential already filled. The next one is, the 194. And based on this momentum, which is, weekly, still showing bullish. And look what action is at. It's midway, it's barely on the 61 area. Price action is barely here. So we're showing that, you already ran a high. So for the first potential, whenever we were trading this, this is ACST. Remember, it was the first potential of the gap fill into the 60 area. And that's what we got now. But overall, we were looking for the one because this is the higher high here. You see how 99 is one higher high? This area,
Mm-hmm.
if I put one and two lines here, you're gonna notice that that's one, and you have the 94. So overall, it's gonna run the $1. But based now that we're at that $1, actually we're sitting in the 76. But because whenever we ran the $1, now we're sitting in the 88, I mean the 80 cents area, because it's been running 77, 80 cents, 77, and so on. And it's showing the room here. Let's go to monthly now. You see how monthly barely resetting? If I zoom out, you see this? This thing, if it would have been sitting here and it's trading at $1, then okay, we're like, this thing is on heat, it's just going to give $1. But when it's just barely trading up into an uptrend, this thing for now, us, the potential is that since buyer are barely coming in, we're looking for pretty much higher highs in the previous history of the month. So one is this one, 112. So you can see where it stopped, 112. So now that it ran 112 and it comes back with more power, who are we looking for next? This one or this area. So it's gonna be like an area, this area, because you can see here, even right here was used. All of this area was used as resistance. A lot of top wicks, but you notice that the area you got pretty much this whole area filled. So many with top wicks and everything. So your next resistance potential is the 130 and 165. Now, whenever this ticker wants to run up and it's trading at 125, 126, and now this is the tricky part. Based on when it's trading in. So do you think that, okay, for example, let's put it break it down in days. Monday comes, it's trading on 112. Market open comes up. Market opens is trading on 112. Then it goes to 115, 120. At midday, it's trading at 130, 140. It is no longer trading in the 95 or 90 or back flush. It's actually trading even higher.
Right.
So your next potential meaning that your candle is going to be like, if it's trading at the 115, 112, it's going to be trading here in this area. So who your next potential is going to
I
be?
see. Mm-hmm.
Big area of 130,
You're
170.
going, yeah. So
And if
you're
it's,
trying to guess backwards based on
yeah,
the higher highs in the back.
right. If it's
Mm-hmm.
midday, think about it. If it's midday and it's already trading 125, 130, that's already telling you that by after hours or probably by next day PM, it can end up running you this 160, 170. And guess what happens when it does that? It's going to open up just like this candle. It opens at 180 and then it goes back down, and fills this gap into downside just to do, a higher high. So overall, you can notice that we have higher highs here, a lot of them. You got this one. This is a huge one, which is $3. You got one, two, three, four, five, six. So if this momentum, if I zoom in just a little bit, you're gonna notice that it's just barely starting to set up. And this is a long-term ticker, that we're attacking every day that we're just waiting on. So overall, you see these huge candles here? This is where monthly should be taking this ticker with the weight. So now you see this K comes to D, goes up, K comes to D, goes up, K comes to D, and then goes up. Now, if you look at it here, K goes up, K comes down,
Uh-huh.
price comes down, and then K stays here. K goes up, and then price doesn't move. I mean, it moves, but just a bit here. You see this action here? It goes up. So that then goes up again down. So your main potential is who? This monthly. So K comes to D, and guess what it does? Holds a higher low. And now it's holding a higher low. And guess what that K does after it respects that D again? You see this bounce? And it goes into a higher high bounce.
It goes up.
Yep, and it
Mm-hmm.
goes up, but it never breaks this area of 3 that is be having the same issue. Now it runs heat and it breaks low. So even this area here of of your support, you could have risked 180. If you're coming from this much of hold of 90, you could have risked 180 and not risk the potential monthly to downtrend until it's happening now again. It's resetting. So overall, this ticker long term, let's say 6 7 months could end up running $2 $3. But what I'm saying is there are going to be weeks that is not going to do nothing. There's going to be probably 2 weeks that is not going to do nothing. For example, this is a monthly candle that started on 21st. So this was started barely on the 30th. And you can see in the 30s it's been sitting in the same price of 76 and 80. But look how small the candle is. You see how small the candle is? So meaning that
Right.
this candle can still come and print 53 and still go back up and correct and run 120. That is why even if it drops 150, I mean 53, 55 on a drop or suddenly on an offering or something like that, you're gonna want to take opportunities there, right? Like in a panic mode, or someone panics, they throw an offering or something, and you see that the reaction comes and holds the area of 55. You're gonna want to kind of dip that thing heavy because it has the potential to come back up because it's still bullish, as you're gonna see here. Even this one, look at this candle here. The next one runs up 57 to come back down, and and then 31.30. And look, the next candle comes plus even stronger and runs $1, and he runs the higher high. So and monthly, you're going to notice that monthly is just barely starting. So overall, the monthly potential, longer terms, it's based on higher highs, which is 150, 140, are one that he pretty much already ran, and we're still back on it to run one again because he's setting up again, to overall run this 180. And even you never know what are the chances that he runs $3 eventually on this huge candle here, you know. So now we go to weekly. ACT was the weekly or daily? I think it was I don't know why my internet's being so slow. Oh my god, I gotta have to do something about this. All I think is the okay, let's go back here.
You got too many monitors.
Probably so. You see how fast it loads here? I think it could be just the blue stacks that is be tripping. Like the blue stack
You
is
know what? My BlueStacks is slow too.
yeah,
Remember, I couldn't get on, so I had to put a older version of Webull in, but it lags.
right. This is what I'm noticing. It's starting to lag at me on here. If I
So
go
I
back
think it's BlueStacks.
on, yeah, it could be blue stack. Okay, so pretty much here you're gonna notice overall weekly still bullish. It still has the potential to recover, and we have daily that it's reset almost done here too. Look at this strong, even this one. You're gonna notice. Look at this. It almost comes down to the same area, but look at the action here. It goes from 24 to look how much you price of action difference. It goes to $1. And remember how I was telling you that we're looking for $1 to run $1 again, but what are the chances that we can still ride into 250 and even $3 if daily decides to even run up again and run up this higher high of $1 again and fills the gap of 180, as you can see, which is $3 here and 170 here. So we have this area of potential. We have this one, and even the middle. I mean, the middle of that, to go up and run 3 $3 and so on. Just pretty much we're gonna base those levels how we go and up, right? Because we want to make sure that this daily, for example, if daily is still sitting on the 60 area, and we're sitting in the 150, we're showing that daily can still run up some more. But if daily is sitting on heat, then we're just showing right now that all it's gonna run is 120. But if we're still showing that daily barely even budged, the momentum barely even moved, and we're sitting at the 115, then it's already showing me that daily can still take us up even a little further up into the 150. That's just how we're gonna predict the upper levels of momentum, but to also predict the levels that you should be kind of getting out at. And so based on entries, like I mean on X's, and that's just on X's, this higher highs. You're looking for the history of higher time frames, daily, weekly, 4 hours. Because even if you go to 4 hours, yeah, this thing trips on 4 hours. I mean, this is just probably blue stack.
Mm.
Okay, it's ACT, right? Yeah, just probably is blue stack. Because look, even for 4 hours here, you're gonna notice.
That's BlueStacks.
Okay, so 4 hours here. You see what happens when it runs a higher high? our first interest, it's sitting at 34. Then he runs a higher high, which is this one, 55. Even this one, you're gonna notice that he runs the higher high of 40, goes up, and then he falls right under the higher high. So you run the higher high up from here. So your first PT, it's over 40. He runs the heat into this level of 50. You take your profit. You wait for another reset, and the reset, 4 hours. Then it goes back up again. It still hasn't run you the higher high yet, so you still hasn't taken PT yet. This is why, remember how whenever we ran 60, 55, we're still waiting for this action here, and then he ran the higher high into the 70, and we were like, yeah, 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 yeah. So um, so what I'm saying is, I remember it was kind of, we're like
We
we
like, we want our money.
yeah, we run the 60. We're like, oh, like, okay, you don't fail on us, and then So long story short, we waited for this little action, and when he ran the 60, we were all happy, and then so we still held because of the one. So you can notice that we held because it didn't run 60, and then he runs the 60. After hours, he ran after hours in pre-market. So we're like, okay. I even tell people, hey, it runs the level. If you want to take profit, take profit. That's up to you. But I'm still waiting on one.
Yeah.
And it goes back down to 60, and it consolidates and goes. Guess what? It goes to one again. It runs the higher high. But then look what happens. It runs the higher high into heat. That's what I mean. Higher highs are gonna just be intended on heat, and it just
Okay.
how
Can't hear
much.
you.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's gonna be based how much room you got on momentum to run you the higher high. So, for example, if momentum is sitting here, right, and then you can see that it has the momentum, and then the intention of this momentum that is sitting on heat is that it's gonna run this higher high of 85. Your PT is gonna be 85. Now, how are you going to break down your exit? It's when it's doing it, right? So, for example, is it running 80 80 90 after hours, or is and he's running after hours into pre-market, so you have the potential of one. And is it doing it in pre-market? So if it's sitting on heat on pre-market, people look for that for fresh. They look for fresh resets, and they look for fresh heats. So what I'm saying is, before market open, people are going to intend to look who is sitting on heats before market opens and who is sitting on reset before market opens. So if you're a bull, you're going to want to look for resets before market open because it has the potential to hold, but eventually create a 4-day run. So what I'm saying is the same thing here. You see this? It comes down to, let me put a line. Let me see if we bring down my line here. Okay, so, okay, here. We're gonna pretty much bring it out to what I heat or 4 hours again. So now I'm gonna
Wait a minute. Some weird stuff is going on.
yeah, I'm noticing. Okay. Can you hear me, right? You can hear me, right? Can you hear me? Be like testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Okay. Now.
Now you can hear me? Let me see. Hello? Yeah, I'm gonna have to see what's
I'm
up
here.
with this. Gonna see what's up with this internet because it's costing me a lot of problems. Okay, so you can hear me, right?
I know.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
can.
probably
The
have to
screen
move
went
it.
out and everything.
Right. Yeah, I noticed. Okay. So we're gonna I'm gonna show you here. Line, white line, and yellow line. Let's go back to lower time frames.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, this connection is just not. We're gonna have to probably. I'm gonna. Okay. You see here. This is, remember how I was mentioning 4 hours reset, 4 hours heat, and 4 hours reset before market opens, right? You want to see the magic? Look at this. Let's go back to 4 hours. If it loads up fast. Oh no. Okay. Yellow, let's take out this so we're not confusing that we have other extra lines. Okay. You see this? This is 4 hours heat before a market open. And remember, I'll show you this before we went to into the lower time frame. But this is people, like I say, people will try to look for heat resets before market open so they can have a full day run. So this is heat 4 hours. This is heat. I mean, this is reset 4 hours, and this is heat 4 hours. So I'm going to bring you down into lower time frames.
Mm-hmm.
Lower time frames, market open is before market open. So sometimes lines move. So I'm gonna put it here. And you're gonna notice that if I go to 4 hours, it's gonna be sitting in the same area of heat. So let's go back to a lower time frame. Sometimes that's what happens between when you dance back and forth, the line would just move just a little bit because it's just the way it is. And
Yeah,
even this one, you're
I
gonna
know, but it's the same. Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Even this, okay. So market opens to me opens when BWAP starts. So BWAP starts here. You're gonna notice. You see what happens here? 109. Guess what happens for the day? Goes all the way down. And
Start going down.
that's the first line on the 4 hours of heat that I showed you. 4 hours heat, that's what people look for full day runs. And 4 hours is usually 2 days, 2 to 3 days of run of downtrend and of run of uptrend. So now 4 hours is heat before market opens. You also have 15 minutes. I'm sure if I go to 30 minutes, you're going to have, you see 30 minutes on insane heat. So this thing is just setting up for what? For downside. It's setting the potential for a short setup for them to make money and for you not to go against because the chart is going to be against you. So, you
Right.
trade that. So overall, you're gonna see market open pops 109, and this is why ACT would have been best to take lock profit in the $1. And this is why I even mentioned $1 reach. It'll be up to you if you want to keep it or lock because you're going to run the chance, of losing game, but overall it's going to come back over time again. So, like I was mentioning, this is market open. Market opens, BWAP starts here at 109, and then it flushes. Let's go down to the second one. This is market open. Market open starts at 57. Guess what it does for the day? Goes from 57. I mean, yeah, from 57, 58, and it
Where's
runs
the big one?
80, 90 cents. And this is just based on 4 hours. Now we're not going to just base it on 4 hours, but I'm gonna show you other time frames. And this is why it's important that you cannot just base on just 4 hours on just one time frame. You're basing this on multiple time frames. Remember how I was showing you that if 4 hours is sitting on reset before market open, you're gonna have a 4 day run, even
Mm-hmm.
probably continuation. This is what happened. Market open at 58, you have a 4 day run. If I go to 4 hours and show you here the 4 hours Y line, you're gonna notice that it's sitting pretty much at the reset. If you load up here again too, okay, you see this 4 hours reset. Now I'm gonna show you the next one, this one that's on heat. Let's go back to the 15 minutes.
Okay.
If it loads up, okay. So you see the last line, 15 minutes, runs 83, and it goes back. Because if I move this one here, it's the same thing in 4 hours, this was AACT for us on Friday, I believe. It was on Friday. This is the reason, it was flushing, which was normal. It's part of the, what 4 hours is doing. You're gonna see here, even it's still sitting, the white line that I just moved is still sitting on the heat of 4 hours. So what I'm saying is it's still riding us that, as you can see here, 83. Then it comes back down. Overall, as you can tell is why it was flushing when it did on Friday. But if we would have a nice reset on that Friday, we would have a price action of 69.83. Then if we would have for continuation or a reset, we would probably have a price action of 74 into, 90. So now why ACT? Now remember how I was mentioning, people were asking, what is the new PT for ACT now? The new PT is 90 because this is the higher high. You
Right.
got 1, 2, and 3. So we want us to run 90. After, it's going to be up to you if you want to hold to run 110 and have a continuation to remember the potential gap fill 150, 180, and so on. But that's just, basing that you're going to hold the up and then you're going to hold the consolidation again, and then you're going to hold the up again, and you're going to hold the consolidation again. And so, you're going to give it time to get you there because it's not going to get you, as you can see here. The last time that I did this beautiful pump here, it was back on January 15. We're talking about 2 weeks and a half ago. So that was quite a one time, And this consolidation here since January, so it's a week and a half ago. So we're still waiting on this, but it's already uptrending and he has intentions of wanting more. So eventually it's gonna push up and even push the $1 and 110 again into the up mode. So now let's break down one more, which is another one that we're going CTRM. This is about CTRM here.
I got one ticker that I want you to look at.
Yes, ma'am. Go for it.
Zila.
Zila.
Yeah, XELA. That's one of the ones I'm still hanging in there. You know, you jumped out. I missed the exit,
Zila. Let me see.
and then when it went up again, I didn't get out.
Okay, so which one again? Can you spell it for me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Which one is it?
XELA.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, look at the. You remember how I was mentioning that he was gonna run the reverse split? You see how beautiful that
Yeah.
reverse split was run up. Even if he would have caught any level that I alerted, and he would have caught any specific entry whenever he dipped, even the $1 entry, you still would have run your profit by now. Because this is just it was a beautiful setup. Now your question is
Yeah.
you didn't get out, right?
I should have dipped. I should have averaged down, but I didn't.
What's your entry on this end?
It was 308. It hit it yesterday, but I didn't get out.
Okay, well, let's see here.
I missed I missed the exit.
Based on this daily, this is no joke. He's trying to run 380, 345. So now this is how you're gonna base your next PT. Since you're still on it, and it's based on this strong monthly. Now let's go back to weekly. And this is why I mentioned that this thing can run us it can run us a reverse split. Whenever he was alerted, it was because obviously we didn't expect the reverse split. The alert was on a Sunday, and then he came to a point that boom, reverse play started showing up. Hey, we're doing a reverse play tomorrow, blah blah blah. So we're like, oh, okay, what the heck?
Yeah.
And then but look at
Yeah.
this. You see this action here? This is what happened when it was going up. This is the reason I alerted that we had the potential to go up, but then prices fixes itself. You see how here it shows that it ran one price, but it never really ran that price. For example, here, remember how it looked like it was look. You see how it was trading at one time before the reverse split, it was trading at 90 something, 88 cents. And in here, it's not showing that
Mm-hmm.
it never ran the 80 cents. Or when the alert came in, we alerted that it was gonna run one to one something, 140, I believe. And then it dumped to 80. And then that's
Yeah,
when
yeah, yeah, yeah.
a lot
Right.
of us took the
Right.
the the, the dip. And some of us were even, drove into the 90 something reaction. And then the reverse split came and so overall,
And
it
then it
doesn't even
dropped
look.
all the way down.
Yep, and it doesn't even look like, for example, it didn't even look like it was trading that 80 area. You can see here that when he dumped to the 190. So what I'm saying is now it's still looking bullish to investors or bullish to long-term players. Long-term players will be us. So you see how strong buyers are here? This is a strong buyer sign. So what I'm saying is overall, this ticker based on this weekly and this respect, you see this respect here? So daily,
So okay,
let me see if I can
I
get this
I
out.
figured that out. Mm-hmm.
Let me cancel this and see probably. Okay, it's having a hard time here. But you're gonna notice here, for example, let's go to daily. If it loads up. I don't know why my internet is being this bad. It wasn't like this yesterday.
Oh, okay. You're back.
Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna notice here daily. We're gonna go into the loading mode. And I'm gonna show you that daily resets. And you see how fully it resets here? Beautiful reset. But guess who matches that reset? Let's put a line, this blue line here. Let's go to weekly. It's being so slow, man. I think it's probably gonna have to update my blue stack.
Yeah, I gotta wait for the chart.
Yep, because now it's just waiting on the thing. You see how they daily come into a reset, but then K
But
comes
yeah,
into
blue
D?
stacks is lagging bad.
Yeah, it is. And then you notice that K comes into D here. You can hear me, right? Yeah, I don't think she can hear me now. Yeah, Blue Stacks having me an issue.
Yeah, there
Okay,
we go.
okay. So you know how you can see that K comes into D here?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That is the daily reset that we saw earlier that, comes into D. I mean, that the daily reset comes for daily reset and then K comes into D and then has a bounce. So what I'm saying is overall, based on these buyers, we're looking for a higher high of 343 and to run off 345 into this area of $4, which is now this area here. This is what we focus on eventually for this weekly.
Yeah, you said $4. That was part of the reason why I didn't get out too,
Right.
because you had said that it was potential for.
Because look at this monthly. See how strong this monthly is? This is a continuation monthly run. Like it can continue its candle.
That
You
looks
see what I
good.
mean here? Look, if I you see how it continues its candle?
Hmm.
And what I mean is if we zoom in just a little bit so it doesn't go up too much, you see how the candle here, what we're looking for here is this $4 to run this higher high area. Because it can. If I zoom out in the FETSO, you're gonna notice it's still showing that it has room to 90, 100 area. And if by the rooms of it, you know, based on the momentum, how strong it is. Oh my gosh. I just felt that. It just literally closed. This is so bad. I'm gonna have to see what's going on with that.
Who's your carrier?
I have what is this thing? What is the this is this new one. No, it's not new. Spectrum, there it goes.
Oh,
I have a
Spectrum.
Spectrum,
Charter
right?
Spectrum.
Huh?
Yeah, Charter Spectrum. Uh-huh.
And then it was been pretty good. Just this weekend is, I mean, this week has been pretty bad on me, like especially in the mornings. Last time I had a squirrel that ate one of the cables because
Oh my gosh.
there's a lot of trees around here.
Uh-huh.
The squirrel was eating one of the cables. They could cut all my connection off. Okay, so based on based on monthly, and probably another squirrel because it's acting the same way that he was acting that time.
Yeah.
You just cut it on my stuff, but okay, so for now, you're gonna notice on monthly, the higher high that we're looking for is this one, which is 180. Remember how I was telling you, we're not looking really for 480. We're just looking to us to run $4. Because if it's already sitting at 308, it can easily run these 2 weeks and run for look, even where $4 is sitting. You see how $4 is right there? This is just,
Hmm.
$4 is beautiful to run up because even if it wants to run this step wicks, that's going to be already be five. But it's going to be based when it does it. If it's midday running 450, you're going to want to wait for five then. If it's EOD and it's already at 450, then you're going to take profit at that 450.
Okay.
But if
Because
it
the middle of the day means it still has time and if it's going up, we still got room to go up.
right, but remember that if it's sitting, remember I was just showing you about the 4 hours heat and the 4 hours resets. That
Right.
means that if a market opens or before market opens, you got a 4 hours heat, you want to exit that because it becomes a flushing day. It becomes a fail.
Okay.
You only
Mm-hmm.
wants to keep it if it's showing that 4 hours is still uptrending and 4 hours is still showing you room to kind of go up more.
Okay.
So let me see. Let's go back another one here. NSPR. Okay, this is something I want to kind of go with you over, that could help other members as well. It's going to be how I'm basing the calls based on what I'm looking for when I'm looking for something.
All
Because
right. Perfect.
especially if I'm looking for something, is because I have to kind of
I jumped in that one. Bio. I got in
right.
that
Yeah,
one
Bob's
Friday.
pretty good. He came back pretty strong after hours. So so for example, whenever I'm looking for something, if I'm looking at a specific time frame, just know that if you're looking at one time frame, you're going to and if you look at daily and you're looking for hours, no, I'm sorry. If you look at daily and you look at 1 hours and you have 4 hours and 2 hours in between, you can hear me, right? I think you can. I think this thing is just over today. Hello?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. So yeah, if you got daily and you got 1 hour and you got both of them bullish, that is giving you the idea that in between of the daily and 1 hour,
Right.
which is 2 hours and 4 hours, they should be also bullish. So, for example, if you're looking at 1 hour and you're looking at 15 minutes bullish, that is giving you the idea that 30 minutes is bullish as well. So, if you're looking at 4 hours and you're looking at 1 hour, that is giving you the idea that 2 hours is bullish. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to look at 2 hours to know that 2 hours should be bullish. So to confirm, he's always you always check it.
Because it's 1 hour and the 4 hours is in between.
Right. So now
Hmm.
that idea comes to this place now. So if you're looking for, you're not looking for four different time frames for you to find a bullish ticker. All you have to do is look for a ticker that has a bullish 1 hour. So if you have a bullish 1 hour, you're going to boom have a bullish 2 hours, have a bullish 4 hours, and even had the potential of have a bullish daily and weekly. So meaning that you don't have to look at 2 hours, 4 hours, daily and weekly to find a bullish ticker. So what I mean by that, that if the ticker is bullish, market open, for example, and it has room in that 1 hour, that is showing that if 1 hour has room, 2 hours and 4 hours is going to have room also to be bullish for the day. So for example, let's go back to market open.
Got you. Mhm.
So let's go back here to see this is I don't even know if I had to.
Yeah, let's do an example so I can see.
Okay, yeah, it's actually loading pretty good. Okay. Yep. Daily. Which is it's loading faster too. Okay. We'll go back to this one. We're gonna look for 1 hour. We're not even gonna pay attention to this. You're gonna notice here is this is the 1 hour, but that's after midday. You see how midday? This is midday actually because B1 started here.
Yeah.
Actually,
We
B1
want to look
started
at
right
market
here.
open.
You see where B1 started? B1 started here. So for 1 hour on this area was bullish. So between $10 and 15
Hmm.
1 hours was bullish. But since this was messy, let's not focus on that because it's not uptrending like smooth uptrend. This was like you can see that it's coming from an uptrend way back then. So this thing once it starts running a downtrend, and you're gonna get caught pretty heavy. And why are you gonna get caught heavy? Because look at it, if you go to bigger time
Yeah.
frames,
Get out
you
of
see
there.
this it's trading too much. It's just too much. You don't want to chase things. You want to make sure that you have momentum
No.
to run you
Get
higher
out of
highs.
that thing.
Remember how your
Hmm.
potential is to run you higher highs? But when this thing
Right.
already ran like five higher highs on daily and weekly and 4 hours, you don't have potential no more. You don't have that mentality that okay, I wanted to run this higher high. But instead, he already ran you five higher highs on the weekly. So you're just gonna get caught in a nasty bag when he wants to come back down. So let's go back to boat and let's go back to 1 hour. You see this one? This is a new IPO by the looks of it. Let's go back to another one. You're gonna notice here is on downtrend 1 hour. You see what I mean? This is a
Yep.
downtrend 1 hour. You don't mess with that. Nope. I want to get out. So this is an uptrend 1 hour. You're gonna notice here is an uptrend 1 hour being bullish. This is 1 hour. So if 1 hour, you're gonna see is K over D, and K over D is right now. Let's go back to 2 hours. You see how 2 hours is also bullish? Let's go
Yep.
back to 4 hours.
4 hours.
You see how 4 hours is starting to reset and it's bullish?
Yep.
And let's go back to daily. Daily has a zigzag mode, but you see
It's
what
still
it ran
bouncing up.
already? But you see what
Hmm.
it did? It ran the higher high. And so that is already telling you that he already ran a higher high. You're late on the move because even daily started downtrend. If we go to weekly, weekly super bullish and it has the potential to run more. Let's go stretch out weekly here, and let's see if we have a higher high in the back of that to run up. So you see how these beautiful higher highs that you got here. So let's zoom out here a little bit. We have this one that I already ran. So we have another one, and based on weekly, you see how weekly still has room, and it still have room to
Uh-huh.
go up. So what I mean is, if he already ran this level, it's showing that he wants to run at least $5 eventually. So let's go back to monthly. You see how monthly is super bullish right now, and it's the way it looks. The monthly, with time given and time waiting, it can end up running you $4 or $5, and that's what we were pretty much looking into the weekly here, which was gonna run the $5. So this is just one potential, like I was, and this is all based on who? Just finding the 1 hour being bullish. So let's go and zoom out again. Look, you see how this one's downtrending? You see how the momentum, I mean, the price action is also downtrending. You know, you go back. I mean, you keep looking. This one's new, but it's a new IPO. I don't know why am I finding new IPOs today. Yep, look at the brand new IPOs. It's just like brand new IPOs that came up on Friday. Look, you see?
All of them. You got all of them.
Yeah, I don't know why they're showing up. Must have been just look at these new IPOs. Some of them run, some of them go down. So we're gonna keep doing it until we find a bullish one. Okay, this goes one. We're not gonna even look at the graph at the bottom. This is a good price action. This is BISL. We know this ticker too. So
Yep.
you have this bullish 1 hour. Let's see what it's doing now and how it ended after hours. And based on this action, it needed to at least end bullish mode, right? Look at this. You see?
Right.
He ended in a strong bullish mode. Now let's check 4 hours. I mean, sorry, 2 hours. You see 2 hours? Bullish. Let's go to 4 hours. 4 hours, bullish. You see the intentions here of the higher. This is one. It runs the higher high. Momentum still looks room. Now we're looking for $4. And guess what he does? He runs that next higher high. And so that's would have been a nice, beautiful potential, to dip this ticker based on this momentum, which is 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. And you found this nice, strong potential matching based on just finding 1 hour. Let's go to daily. You see daily, beautiful uptrend. K comes to D and respects, and then it runs the higher high here.
Wait a minute. I'm waiting on that to just pop up.
I have my little baby,
Oh, okay.
I have my other living room. So whenever they leave the door open, she comes and she crawls all the way to where I'm at, and she gets on my knee for me to pick her up and then put her where I'm doing because she always wants to
Oh,
kinda,
she's trying to learn. She's
yeah,
trying
she's
to
trying to
learn.
learn
Put
real,
on the
yeah.
knee.
But she
Put
loves
on
being
the.
by her daddy. She loves just coming, little cute face and stuff. So I had to kind of, she's real talkative as well. So and you can see her crying right now because we
Uh
took
oh.
her away. But she's really interested whenever sometimes I come into a place and start doing this. But okay, so we're gonna see that daily here is bullish. You can see daily now.
I did. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see if I'm still recording. Let's go to weekly. You can see you see this beautiful weekly. This weekly is an uptrend. That
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
that
you
looks
can see
good
it's an
too.
up. I mean, you can see it's zigzag up and down. But then if you go even higher, you're gonna notice that monthly is even smoother. But
Ooh,
but I mean, my smoother is you see
it
that.
with all the jumps ups and
I mean,
down.
you can see this respect, and then it goes up. But if I even stretch into back into this monthly, you're going to notice the. Give me 1 second. Okay, so we go back to this monthly, and I'm gonna show you by intentions here. You see how this intentions us first was this one, 454. And even before that, look, you have this one here, which is this candle, this wick, which is the first one of 323. This is the price that that I'm trying to show you. It's this one. So if you go here, you're gonna see that's 327. And if you go to this one, this is 440 something. So now our higher high first even before he runs this one, you're gonna notice that look what it does. It tops a wick and then it goes back down and then it runs up again. So this is what I mean. This top wicks, guess what it does? It just runs up the wick and it comes back down. So overall, what I mean is, um, you use previous highs and you use previous higher
Top
highs
wicks.
to
Okay.
find PTs. And even this one, this is 445. And if we go back to action of yesterday, you're gonna see where it runs 428. And guess what this ticker wants to do now? He wants to run, and based on this 4 hours, we have the potential to run the 450. If we go to weekly, let's see, let's go to weekly. Okay, now it was just working pretty. Okay, it goes weekly. If we go to weekly, you're gonna notice here is we got this higher high of 446, 448. Remember, I was showing you the 440 something in the monthly. This is the week that we created there. So this creek created of 450 is showing the potential
Mm-hmm.
based on this weekly that we can end up running that 460 into 5. And look at this huge range of 9. We're not looking for 9, but based on this momentum, we can say that it can run 5, 6, and 7. No, 7 is too far out. We can say that it can run 5 and 6. 6, because this is where we can stop at, is this candle as well. Because this whole area is going to be just back orders. This whole area. Beginning to see how fast it just flushed.
Right.
It gave no
Right.
one chance to get out. So
It
this is all
just jumped.
back orders. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to
Mm-hmm.
kind of look for a PT before the back orders start taking profit. So we're looking kind of in this area. So like I said, he can run us, he can squeeze us even more, which is fine.
6
But at the end, you want the ticker to keep squeezing and you losing gain, and it does this, and you lose the opportunity to ever
to jump out.
profit,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, or ever taking a chance of taking money. So this is just an example. So we're gonna keep looking, and I'm gonna remember how I was showing you that you focus into 1 hours, even tattoo.
Right.
Look at tattoo. Tattoo. I'm gonna show you this.
Yeah, that was another one I was looking at.
Yep. Let's go to 1 hour. You can see how 1 hour here. This is before tattoo. I know this is not even 1 hour. Yeah, it is 1 hour. Ooh, okay. Tattoo ran four
Just
seer.
1 hour.
Yeah, it's 1 hour. But remember how this one when tattoo ran was here. So we're gonna kind of focus. You see how 1 hour here is downtrending. We're gonna notice that
Yeah.
this 4 hours here is downtrending. This is why you don't mess with. But look what it's doing now. It's uptrending after the flush. So now it can give you a good potential that it can come back on based on who. You see how this weekly is bullish? Let's go to daily. You see how this daily recovered, but now it has a gap. I don't like this gap here. This is a dangerous. So the ticker overall, if we investigate on the 4 hours, yep, 4 hours is sitting on the. You see how it's sitting on air, and you remember how I was showing you the
Let
gap.
me see.
This air here.
Mm-hmm.
If I zoom out, you see how it's sitting on air, and it's already starting to kind of do that formation of downtrend. And remember how I was showing you that we have that gap fill of 260, and this is where it could come down to. It's the 260 area. Because if we go to daily, you're gonna notice here is that the gap is 250, 260 area, which is 260 to 50. And that is the potential 4 hours coming down into that gap. So now that is saying that this is not a ticker that you want to attack right now. So let's go back and see if we can find a bullish 1 hour again. Even this one, you see this bullish 1 hour? This comes into the bullish 1 hour. And guess what it does? It runs the higher high. And 990, same thing. If we see this bullish 1 hour, I mean, this 4 hours to be honest. So it's not even 1 hour. Yep, it took a while, but it's a little messy. But you can see bullish 1 hour around a nice higher high. So that's showing you that you're late on that one as well. So we're gonna look for bullish 1 hours. This one's already shown. I mean,
Yeah.
it's sitting on the gap. Okay, this one. You see how this is bullish 1 hour? And look what price comes at. It goes from $15 to $20. Let's look at 4 hours. I mean, 2 hours. You see how 4 hour? I mean, 2 hours looks the same as 1 hour. It's bullish. Let's go to 4 hours. You see how 4 hours, same thing. It's bullish. So now, what I'm saying about this is, if 4 hours is bullish, let's put a line here. Let's put a line here in this 4 hours here, and we're gonna show you. Remember how I was kind of going that 4 hours reset means if it happens before market opens, it means that it can run for the day, and it can run how many days? 2 to 3 days. So let's go to 4 hours. I mean, I'm sorry, to 15 minutes. You see this thing here? 4 hours reset. This is BWAP. BWAP starts at $13. And remember, I was saying 2 to 3 days. This is 1, 2, 3, and a pre-market goes to go boom.
Hey.
Cool. On 4 hours, still being a reset and still being bullish. And who did I use to find this ticker just now? Just using 1 hour. Now, if I know that 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours is bullish, it's gonna completely tell me that daily, weekly, and monthly should be bullish. Let's go to daily. You see the strong daily, that's bullish. Uptrend is, I mean,
That's
this
nice.
action. You're gonna notice that even this action here, this K coming into D and then going up, that was the action pretty much from 15 to $19. If we go back to lower time frames, you could have noticed that was pretty much the whole day. And this is good moolah because it goes from that 15, $16 to $19. And that's just the whole day. So let's go to weekly. Weekly, you see this weekly? Bullish. You see the intentions here? The intention is $16. You run $16. Now, who's your next intentions? Is 20. And guess what it does to run? It runs $19. Once he runs this and momentum still showing momentum here, and he has a stretch and he's, he wants to run up some more because 4 hours, 2 hours, and 1 hour is bullish. That's already showing that the next potential was the area of 19, 20, 21. And as
Yeah,
you can
I
tell
see
that
it.
it ran $19. So your PTs are usually previous highs. And your potential is also the momentum, how much room it does, and what the intention is of the momentum to run those previous highs. And remember how I was kind of explaining you the 1 hour, 4 hours, so on and so on. But all you need is to find one time frame to find all the time frames, and you don't have to look for all types of time frames to find a bullish ticker. Because
So
if you
this
find
is
a
a good ticker to play.
bright,
Would you
beautiful
say
ticker to play, the ticker is
MSON?
yeah, yep, MSON. So let's go on
Hmm.
to another one. Let's this even this one. You see how this one was a bullish 4 hours? Let's go to 1 hour. Okay, this thing being like here on space on the middle is what I mean by space. It just means that it's going
And
to
yeah,
struggle. What you can see that he's been struggling. You want someone that's like uptrending, like it's coming from, let's say, 2 days ago, or it's coming from yesterday, and the yesterday means that the momentum, it's an uptrending. It's not like sideways like this. You want an uptrend, a glide, or an uptrend momentum. So now let's go and zoom out, and you're gonna you see this one. You see how beautiful this one is. This one's he's not. He hasn't been sitting on air. But if you look at the ticker, we're gonna look at the ticker right now, and this is 1 hour. You're gonna know that this ticker was bullish even by after hours. You see how this after hours ran bullish? Let's go back to 1 minute or 2 minutes here. You're gonna notice that 3 minutes on me. You see how after hours ran. You see the after hours run
this was
here?
on my watch list on yesterday. I didn't
Really?
play it though.
And remember, this is actually was one of the was that we've been waiting to come back. You remember
Yeah, I
this,
lost money on it before, so I was scared to touch it. But it was on my watch list.
right? So look at this one. Remember how we find it based on just 1 hour because 1 hour is bullish. Let's check out 4 hours. Actually, 2 hours because it goes up. You see how this 2 hours, even this little bit here was bullish from BWAP midday into continuation. Let's go to 4 hours. You can see 4 hours was bullish from when? From way back into the 190 area. But now it's bullish again for more. If we check weekly, weekly is barely starting to reset. So this is already showing potential for what? Especially on this action. It can consolidate a little bit in the two area to potentially run $3, $4 again. Because he held, look at the higher low that he held. Last weekly was here in the 115. We have a full weekly now holding 180. That's a nice higher low. So with time, could bring you some good profit like AMC. So where now, remember your first higher now it's 148. Once it runs the 148 to 160, your next potential will be the 436. Now once he runs 450, 380, and 4 o'clock, I mean 4 o'clock, and he stays in the four, your next potential is going to be 574, and not just based on how much momentum you have. So when it's sitting, when it's sitting at 350, well, after he runs the 350 here and momentum is barely here, that is showing you the room for the next one of 450. So when he runs 450 and momentum is still showing that he has room for more, then your next potential is the 574. So it's just all based how much momentum. It's all based on how much momentum you have in your time frames. You see here, you just barely starting to reset. So they could end up, running and resetting into this potential high of $5. So that's just based on one time frame. So we're gonna go again And this is what I was kind of trying to, show you that you don't have to base it just on multiple time frames, but you have to understand that you need multiple to be bullish to for you to find a bullish ticker, or not just a bullish ticker, but a bullish high time frames and a bullish pattern. Even this one, you're gonna notice that it's 1 hour has been downtrending. It's no good. Let's go see if we can find
Mm-mm.
so you're gonna notice this one is messy, no good. We're gonna keep going into the next one. You see this one's in the air. Price action was downtrend. I mean, it was uptrending pretty nice, but it's still kind of no good because you're a little late and it's still sitting on too much heat. That is showing you that if it ended in a heat, right? What is that gonna tell you next day? Next day is gonna kind of give you the idea that it's going to flush. If it closed into heat. So this one, you see how it's closing
Right,
into
right,
heat.
right. Mhm.
This already closing so high. So next day is just gonna go boom because
Right.
it's closing into heat. Even okay, now this one. This one looks it has room. And this one's NXPR. We just found our baby. Okay, so NXPR is here. You're gonna see that Iran, at the end of the day, closing to 83, and it's still showing bullish. Let's investigate a little bit more in the 2 hours. You see how 2 hours is bullish? You see this beautiful respect uptrend? This is why we kept it, and this is why I was mentioning to members that we had the potential for more. You see how this for? I mean, this thing wants to not what's your PTs? Your PTs is 90. You see this 89, and then you have this 88. So your PT now is 90. If pre-market runs 90 and it runs 95, even if it runs $1, there comes the trick part. Remember when there's action after hours in pre-market and this thing runs $1 in pre-market and market open comes, guess where the daily gap is going to be at? It's going to be, let's stretch off a little bit here. Where it's going to open up is going to open up. Look where it's going to open up here. You see this where it's going to open up?
Mm-hmm.
And if he opens up here, meaning that if after hours, it didn't run after hours. So we're probably expecting something in pre-market. It didn't run pretty much, if it doesn't run pre-market, that is good. You know why it's good? Because that means that price will stay here where it closed. And if it stays here where it closed, that means that next day, which is Monday, that momentum can continue for a full day run to run
Get more
$1
money.
for us
Right.
at end of day because the candle is going to print like this and close, let's say close at 1 at end of day when it runs up. But if it runs up pre-market, if it runs 1 at pre-market, what's going to happen? Market open is going to open up right here, and
And
then
then it's gonna
guess what
flush
happens for the day? It becomes
down.
down. Yep. Just like this one. You're going to notice here, this gap, it goes up, and then look what happened. He opens up here, and it goes down. So you want something to, even this one, this is another example. You see here, he opens up here, and it goes down. But you're going to notice here, this one, it was here, but then he opened up right above it. There was not much, but look what happens. It goes up. So this is what I mean. You don't want to get too far, or you want to stay around the day that it closed from previous day to continue the run next day. But if you have a nasty
More,
run,
more
for
money.
example, OCGN, we're gonna go to OCGN. OCGN, you're gonna see you're gonna see the daily. You can see the daily here. We're gonna see the daily, and I'm gonna show you daily if it loves up again. Okay. You see how it was running? And then whenever he opened up on Friday, you're gonna see where he opened up. He opened up at 3 something, right? You see how the candle just stretch up going up, but that's momentum. Now, what happened Friday after hours? Let me show you what happened Friday after hours. I don't know if you've seen it. It runs 881. So all this action here is not showing in the daily, but it's showing in the 4 hours and so
It's
on.
only
So
right.
what I'm
It's
saying
true.
is, if we go to weekly, I'm gonna show you that weekly. Weekly is already stretching up. Where do you think
Oh,
this
that
thing
thing ran up
is going
881
to
after
open
hours.
up? This thing is going to open up at, look where it's at, pretty much 880 at 9. So this is actually showing that it could pop pre-market. Right at pre-market, it can pop $9, $10. So, but then flush back down. So what I'm saying is, even then, it becomes such a risk that it's not point of chasing it. So what I'm saying is, the daily, if I put a line
Right.
here, it already ran this much. There's no action there. So if you go to daily, wait, I just zoom. I can zoom out on this one. See if it loads here. Come on, baby. It's taking too long. Jesus. Okay, well, taking too long to load. You see where it's gonna load up? Let's see. Okay. Remember how I was showing? Okay, 390. You see how it's still showing room to run 1070? This is what I mean. It's still showing this potential gap of pre-market action. But now if it runs more, it's fine. It can run more. But it's not going to show in the daily. So what I'm saying is whenever he opens up, he can end up opening up in the nine here. So it's going to open up here. You see this whole gap? Look what happens. Even this gap here. You see where when he opened up so high here at three something, look at what he does. He comes back to that gap and he goes back up again. So what I'm saying is right now that action is just showing that it's for if he has options, you can go with puts and market open and then have a potential fade if he has options, And but for now it's just showing that he ran too much. He ran way too much in the after hours in pre-market that is going to create that gap into market open and open up into a red candle that creates the gap into a downside. So overall, like I was showing you, you have to be able to understand that there's never a certain time frame that's in control. It's multiple time frames, and the more it is, the better it is for your money because that's your money's gonna run in your favor, and you're not gonna be fighting against the chart.
Mm-hmm.
So that is just the base of that, and also you need to identify the time when they're doing that. If he's doing a market open, if he's doing a midday, if he's doing an EOD, if he's doing it after hours, when is that actually happening? So what I'm saying is, if it's sitting at a certain level market open and the candle should be stretching up into a daily, that it has the potential to kind of run you up a day, a full day run and become a green candle. So that green candle, which is opening at a certain level, is going to close at the top of a full green candle. That's giving you a full day run in a lower time frame. This is the one that I show you, which is MSON, the one that you liked. You notice that it was a
Yeah.
full day run, but you notice the green candle just he completely became full in the daily, and it was bullish in many time frames. But you're gonna notice that it became just a full day run eventually at the end of the day. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for full day runs that becomes continuations, and eventually you don't even have to use the trade. You can use one trade and I use it and ride into a swing, and next day you close and you never even use that trade. The only times
Right.
this is a good key as well to managing risk. The only time that you want to use your trades is usually not to lock profit. You know that, right? It is to get
Oh,
out. It is to get out from losing money or from tickers that is not doing what you want it to do. So what I'm saying is, most of the times here, when you have a small account, if you go into a trade and this ticker, as soon as you get in, it's not going up and it just stays sideways and it starts downtrending and it fails you, and you see bigger time frame starts failing. Now that is when you're like, okay, and then you see another ticker that's being bullish. That is when you get out of that one and you use that trade and you jump into the next one. And guess what the next one does? If the next one takes you a full bullish run into a swing, and at the end of the day, you got out of the one that was losing and you got on into the jumping that I mean, you jumped to the one that was winning and you recovered the loss and you even made profit. And at the end of the day, you only used one trade. So your
mhm.
trade still becomes profitable. So what I'm saying is the only time that you should be able to use a trade or like knock a trade is not to lock profit, because that trade you want it to become a swing, so you don't use the trade. You only get out and use your trade is whenever you're not pulling money, you're not working money, you're not doing money, and you want it. Midday comes and you see another ticker running bullish into an EOD and continuation. That is the one that you want to jump in, and you want to use that trade to get out of the one that's not doing you anything and jump into the one that's making you money, or that's going to make you money. So many people think that using a trade or when you want to lock profit is because you run too much profit and you're like, okay, let me lock and let me get out. I already got my profit. And you want to use a trade. The idea to using a trade is pretty much just to get out of situations that you get in, but it's not doing anything. So get out and jump into the one that you get in. And if you see that it's running you profit, then you stay and you stay until next day, and running you more profit, because you see most of the stickers that we swing, they run as PM or they run as profit into market open or pre-market, and we just pretty much kips. We make swing tickers easy because hey, well, we swinging this ticker, yes. Hey, yeah, we swinging this ticker, yes. We just swinging them like nothing because we know what we're looking for. but also we swinging them safe swings that can end up running us profit next day, but never, like flush us to where boom, it flushes 50% of our accounts. As you can see,
Right.
it never really has happened that since we've been trading for so long. And that's just because as well, you're not supposed to put your full account into one ticker. You break it
Right.
down, right? So what I'm saying is, this is what I mean. If a ticker's not doing anything, just get out, use that trade, and use it in another one that's doing it, that's making you money. So even for example, you have let's say you have TTMP, you're not doing it, nothing today. You get out of TTMP, and if NSPR, you already have a position on that one, and he's running you bullish, take the TTMP out, and put it on NSPR and make that money work until where we're at. At the end of the day, TTMP is not going to do anything. It's going to sit there all day while an SPR can end up running you profit after hours and run you profit pre-market. So that is kind of the idea here. So many, like I said, they have the confusion of when to use a trade. So like when you manage risk, you want to use a trade, into a ticker that you just got in, but it didn't do nothing you, or it's not doing anything to you, or not making you money in the next 2 hours. And then you have these other tickers that's being bullish, and they're running bullish. So that's whenever you want to use that trade and be like, okay, let me use this trade, let me get out, and let me use that into that money, and then I'll just hold it off into that, and I'll just rate it. I'll write a continuation that should put me more money or whatever into next day. So and then you're not locking profit too early as well. If you're trying to use a trade, you pretty much wanted to knock a whole day run, and you want to knock a next day continuation. So if for example, if you get into a trade and it happens already on your first trade, then you end up eventually not using the trade and you still make profit. So next day, when you're getting on a new ticker, and it doesn't run you profit, it's making you lose a little bit, then you get out of that, and you're using the same trade that you were supposed to use yesterday, you're using it today, to manage that risk and jump into someone that can end up making you more money if it runs for the day, and and runs a continuation. So that's how you're going to manage to control a small account. It's pretty much to get out, to use your trades to get out from something that is not doing anything, to manage your risk, and jump into someone that is going to run your profit for the day, run your profit continuation, and even next day. You've seen some tickers that run us profit in 2 days ago, 2 days later, and then those tickers that run you profit 2 days later, and you lock. You go back into a fresh momentum, and you make some more money like that. So eventually, a small accounts, you really, even with 3 trades, you can end up making it unlimited if you hit those home runs, like, and you get out. Use your trade to get out of something, to jump into a home run, and when you get into a home run, you just boom, you make your money, you recover what you lost from the other one, or sometimes you didn't lose much from the other one, you just running profit on this one, and then and you don't use much trades, you only use one just to get out from situations.
Okay. And
But
go
other than
through
that,
that out.
just know that as you can see, the little the explanation of the finding the 1 hours and 2 hours, that's going to be really helpful for you when you're really looking for tickers. And if you're looking for something like that, like momentum, give it like 30 minutes and market opens, and then start looking for that 1 hour uptrend.
Okay, so then that makes sense. So about 10 then, and then I see which ones. I go through which ones flush, and I move them to a different list. Then I
Right.
will look at the 1 hour to see what kind of room it has to run.
Right, because look,
Basically.
this is what I do. Whenever this are done and it comes right,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna see my yesterday ads. My yesterday ads is whatever I added yesterday. You see, I got the YJ, which is that's
Yeah.
the one that we traded. The one that we ran into 3. Then I got IDEX, that the one that we traded into 7 something. That was 2 days ago because the SPI running so strong. And then we got ATOS that I've been keeping it because based on range, it has good range, and I know that on a reverse it can make us real good money up to 40 cents, 50 cents. So I'm keeping a real good check. And then we have ONTX that was yesterday, which ran the $1 and something, or 2 days ago I believe, that we took profit from Thursday.
That
Was
was
there
from
someone?
Thursday.
Yeah, it was
Uh-huh.
Thursday, and so we I keep it there just in case we run a nice reverse. But other than that, whenever I'm like this, when it runs 3 days or so, I keep my watches close. You're gonna notice all stocks. I go to all stocks. If I go, I mean, I'm gonna show you. I got it. Just you see, I can change the price. I go from 23. You're gonna notice. Look, you're gonna notice he goes down by $1, and then most of my ones, Most of my best ones, they're usually
Mhm.
in the 30 cents. You see how, okay, yeah, this is just the listed. I even got the listed ones. It's just not loaded because
Delisted. They took that off of there.
yeah, it means that it means that there were tickers that I had back in the days that are no longer there. They're just memories. And I don't know why it's taking so long to load, but okay, change
Blue
okay.
stacks.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so pretty much here. This is my all stocks. So like I said, I never really get rid of them until Weeble kind of told me not recently, be like, hey, you got too many, so I'm gonna need you to remove some. And then I was like, oh man. And so I was like, let me see how many I can remove. So I was removing 20, and we was like, nope, I'm gonna need you to remove more. And I was like, man, okay, so let me remove 50. And then that was already like a total of almost 80. And we was like, no, I'm gonna need you to remove more. And then I'll just keep removing 10 and then 10 and 10. And I have already deleted over 100. And we was like, no, I'm gonna need you to delete more. And I'm like, what the heck? We were, and it was making me delete like a lot. And I was like, oh no, okay, let me delete 100 now again. So I was like, I'm not gonna chase. So once I deleted about 200 tickers, that's when we were like, okay, and then I'm gonna let you add more. But the good thing is that I'm adding more again, and it hasn't given me that you're getting close to.
Alert.
It's gonna tell me once
Hmm.
I'm to 1,000 again. It's gonna tell me, hey, you got too many. But okay, this is what I like about my all stocks, which I like to keep them, and I love to keep them because I can easily just go through the graph, and the pattern to me is that when I see this, there's no volume, but when I see this, there's volume. When I see this, there's volume. This is all volume here. You're going to notice smooth moment, even two. You see, this is volume. This is I think it's an LTC, but you see how this daily candle goes up. But if we go to price action, you see this price action a full day.
Hmm.
It goes from $6 to $8. So overall, you're gonna notice that it still was uptrending pretty beautifully. And for example, this one, it's another one. You can see the action, and if you go back to 3 minutes, you're going to notice that you see the 3 minutes here. It pops market open, and then goes back down, and you look, it runs the market open high. So it kind of makes an ABCD. You heard about the ABCD?
Uh-uh.
The ABC goes A, and it goes B, and then he stays in the C, and then the D is like boom, like the upside. So it goes from like the A is the previous high, the B and the C. The B is kind of like the first support. The C is the second higher low support, and the D is the higher high run. So an ABC will be A, B, C, and then D. So that you will have to look into it. It's kind of like there's a lot of patterns in that. A lot of tickers do the ABCDs. So that'll be something that you should be able to read up, and then it'll help
I'll
you
look it up
find
today.
those stickers. So what I'm saying is, you see this? What I like graphs, the graphs. I love watching the graphs because I can easily see who's uptrending, and even this is uptrending. And when I start seeing that this thing uptrending here like this, and then it goes back to a higher low, and I see this thing wants to kind of uptrend a higher high again like that, that's what attracts me. If I go into this, you're going to notice that if I go to the 3 minutes, it's the same thing. You see how it goes up, comes back down, and look at this intention here. This
It
intention
keeps going up.
is what's attracting me because he wants to run that 330 into an upmove. So look, I would have catch a 322 and I would have alerted you guys, hey, this thing is building intentions for our new HOD or higher high. And we catch, the 322, 323, and we take profit by the end of, after hours. We take profit into the 344, probably locking 40 cents. So that's just an idea. Even this one, look, this is seller. You see how beautiful that graph looks? Even this one, you can kind of see that it has the intention. It was having the intentions, but after hours came, so it didn't really build up enough. Now early, even this one, look. Let's go back here. You see how this one has a whack intentions, but it was building that intentions. It goes to 220, then 238, goes back down, and it goes back up. But on the graph, it's showing me good. It's showing me right here. It's showing me the action. It's what I want to see. You see how it came from market open down? And it's showing me like the downtrend. And now what it's showing me is intentions to go back and reverse again. So that's what I use the graph in. Even AKVA, you're gonna see this uptrend. If you go to KKVDA 30 minutes, I mean the 3 minutes, you see this uptrend. And based on the price action, this is good volume on it. Now I'm gonna show you weak volume. Let's look for a weak volume. This is weak volume. Why is a weak volume? You see, there was nothing, and out of nowhere, it just goes boom.
Okay.
Because if you go back to the 3 minutes, you're gonna notice. You see this?
Oh
Nothing,
yeah,
and then it goes boom. So that right there is already telling you, nah, it's already too late. It popped. No, I'm going to the next one. You're
that's
already too late.
horrible.
Yep. So now let's go look for another weak volume. See, this is all strong volumes, and if I just keep going, you're gonna constantly see even this one that I ran. Look, you see this? This is just strong, 159 to 177. You see what I mean? It's just strong voluming graphs. And this is because I have noticed the way these graphs move. You see TRM is even here. And you're gonna notice even this red one, staying on the support, but it still has strong volume that's being traded. Even this one, NK, you see how this uptrends strong. So overall, this is weak. This is a little low volume. Why is it low volume? Look at the way it stays. It does this little sides and then goes up and then side and go down and side like that. That's low volume. You see this?
Hmm.
That's what I mean. It's a good example.
Right, it's horrible.
Yep. And then let me show you another one that I could easily tell. You see, this is beautiful right here. Fevio. You see this uptrend? Beautiful uptrend. And this is what I mean. Now let's investigate. Let's leave it one. Based on this, I'm sure that the 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours was 4 hours started on the reset. This is me just predicting, right? Based on prediction of what I see here, because that's the pattern that I have learned many times before. So based on this action, we're gonna say that 4 hours reset, 1 hour is bullish, 2 hours is bullish, and 4 hours kind of became bullish. Daily, let me see where it stopped. Okay, based on this action, it's been uptrending. So daily is going to be bullish, weekly is going to be bullish. Now let's check weekly. Weekly, you see, bullish. Daily, you see daily.
Oh,
Oh my God,
bullish.
uptrend, bullish. You see this gap, even gap. You see this higher high potential fill. This is before Friday. So on Friday, it was trading under 367 because if we go back to 3 minutes, you can see where it was trading at. It was trading at 367. So on the daily, when this candle opened up, it opened up right at the previous day action, which is this candle. And you're going to tell that previous day's action was the same area that it was trading. You're going to tell this is 367, 366. Next day, 367, 366 to continue the uptrend of who? Of the daily uptrend momentum to make what? A previous higher high. So now it makes the higher high potential is the gap. And EOD, a full day run into continuation. Now let's check the 1 hour. Remember, this is I already kind of predicted the weekly and the daily being bullish. Let's go back to 1 hour. You see 1 hour when the action was happening, it was full bullish. Now at the end of day and after hours, look what happened. It starts turning. But this is already you coming into the daily bullish here. This is where you would have seen that day on the 1 hour bullish, right? Because here it's already ending. It's the end of the day. So you would have taken profit here because next day what's happening? It goes down. But your potential here was here. This 1 hour bullish. So now 1 hour bullish, let's click that and let's go back to 1 hour. And we'll put a line, the blue line there. Nope, wrong line. We put a blue line right here. And you're gonna notice that's 1 hour bullish because that's market open, and so on and so on. Let's go to 2 hours. You see these 2 hours? It started here. You see the bullishness. We got a bullish 2 hours. Let's go to 4 hours. You see the same action here, bullish
Mhm.
4 hours. So now we're gonna go to daily uptrending, weekly uptrending, and if we keep deeper, you can see monthly uptrending. So overall, the base action of this monthly, we're looking at 470, 480, and this is a good ticker that is looking to become a long-term ticker that should potentially run you a nice higher high based on who the action of monthly, because even this monthly action, it looks a little messy. So that means that we have to go even higher into who. Look at the smoother momentum on quarterly. So overall, quarterly has a respectable K on D, better than the monthly. So overall, it's showing that if quarterly is actually bullish, and you're going to see the intentions here quarterly. Quarterly is trying to head to where? To the 530 area. So meaning that if it's sitting on 383 now, potentially this ticker quarterly, meaning that in 3 months, should be running you $455. We're talking about 3 months. Meaning that you can sit on it today and you don't have to check it every day and check it every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and, or have an alert that if one day out of nowhere, boom, he runs you $5, you get your alert and you check your profit because he ran the higher high. especially if you do it after hours of pre-market. So that's just what I mean. Just based on action on what I'm showing you here, what I'm finding on these graphs. So now I'm gonna show you. You see these intentions here. This is what you want to look for. Is those intentions
Right.
here on the graphs. So now this one, this is a random pop. You can easily see that in a random pop. Out of nowhere, you see this action and then you see this pop, and you're like, okay, this thing just randomly pop. I'm not even gonna chase that. So this is like all this. You see this stickers. This is all. Even this one, it's a little messy here, but you're gonna know that it's been bullish. Look, you see this 1 hour. See this 1 hour right here, and I'm sure in 1 hour. Look, weekly bullish, daily bullish. You see the same how it looked at the same ticker that we just previous looked, the same pattern. And look what he's trying to do here: run a higher high. And guess what he does? Run the higher high.
Now, high.
Yep. And guess what he does here? Even right here, look, run higher high. And guess who's what higher high he's trying to run now? This 685. Because right now he already ran the 586 right here. Look, it actually hasn't run this 580. But based on this strong volume, you can easily tell that it wants to run that 6 even into the 7 area. Because if we go deeper, you're gonna see that monthly even bullish. And you see what I mean? This monthly wants the higher high of $7. So this is just based on higher period highs, momentum, the room of momentum, and the action that's be happening now. So overall, you can see even this 1 hour is bullish. Let's go to 2 hours. You see this 2 hours bullish, and this is for Friday. Remember, so if you're catching this bullishness in this in the market open or in the market open or 30 minutes after market open, you catching this bullish movements at market open. So even here, you're gonna notice that it's bullish. And guess what it's building? It's building the intentions into 573 when it was sitting in this area, because you can see there was a lot of buyers. So this is just based on the action that I'm telling you, because all these tickers it's been in my previous history. Like I dealt with them before. I probably dealt with them PM. They didn't do nothing in market open, and I moved them here. But you're gonna tell that all this was on Friday. They were strong, and most of these tickers they weren't doing something last week. They weren't doing something 3-4 days ago, but they were sure doing something 2-3 days ago. But guess when they popped into me? They popped into me on Friday, right? So if they pop into me on Friday, I was able to see this because of me keeping them based on history use. So you're gonna look in even I guess I got so many. Like I have just you see this look at this beautiful thing, and I'm gonna show you look daily.
Nice.
You see this daily. Look at the same pattern here. Oh my. This is just examples. I'm sure you see this weekly. Now what weekly wants to do here is run this 639, and what we're sitting at 570. Based on this daily, look what we want to run. We're trying to run this 639, 650. And then you're going to tell this bullish 4 hours. So if I look, even this one, this is another one. And I've been, oh my God, this is, wait, what? 356. Okay. You're going to tell even this one was running. If we go back to 1 hour, you see this 1 hour. Remember how you're looking for hours the market open that is bullish. I'm going to break this down and how it ended up in the day. And we're gonna see if you have any questions. Yeah, it's good to.
No, I'm just looking. I'm
okay.
I'm paying attention.
Right. Let's put it here. Okay. Boom. This is where you see how this 1 hour reset here and goes back up. This is the reset that comes down into a market open dip. So market open dip. If we go back to 30 minutes, you're going to notice that 30 minutes was also sitting on reset before market opens. If we go back to 4 hours, 4 hours was also sitting on what? Sitting on a reset before market open. Remember how we were going over these topics on 4 hours reset for a day run. So now you have a 4 hours, you have a 1 hour. That also means that 2 hours should be reset and bullish. Yep. So now we'll go back into the 3 minutes. You can see 3 minutes here. Look what the ticker does. This market open, but look what it does the next day. I mean, the same day. It runs from that 310 all the way to 360. And this is market open. And this is the reset that was happening here. So what I'm saying is bigger time frames are going to be giving you it's going to give you money. They're going to give you 40 cents, 30 cents. But you're also looking for 4-day runs. You're looking for this to get in here, to ride all this, and to go to sleep peacefully for next day to lock in this area and still be in profit and never use a trade where you're like, okay, let me lock right here. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, 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 you missed. Oh, okay, you're like, okay, I locked here, so now I'm just getting whatever, whatever. Now you can't get in because you don't want to swing it because you probably whatever, whatever, you know. So you want it to where you just ride the whole day, whatever it does into next day. And if EOD, this is midday, by the way. So midday, you can see after midday, look what it does. It wants to have building intentions. So even if you would have locked here, you would have kept this ticker, and into midday, you're like, okay, this thing is building intentions to run the higher high.
Get back.
Yep, let
Mhm.
me get back in. And guess where you probably would have backed in? You probably would have gotten back in way before your exit. You probably even earn another 8 cents in profit and run, into next day. So your first trade that you lock profit here and you're getting here, and the idea here that you probably would have used two trades, right? But because you're
Right.
seeing that it's closing so strong, you eventually used two trades,
Just hold
but
on to the next day.
you go into the next day, and that second trade that you used, you never really used it. You end up pretty much just getting here,
Right.
getting out here. That's one trade, and you get in here and go into continuation in one trade. You pretty much wrote this whole thing. So that's just doing two trades in one. So what I'm saying is that's just kind of the idea, right? So and then it did pretty good reverse. This is just an example. Let's see what this one, if he wants to run another one. Let me see if he wants to run another one, because I like those pennies that are trying to run one right now. There's been a lot of hype going on.
Yeah.
No, actually, this is not. Oh, I'm tripping.
That
This is
was
not even
against
a
Tuesday
penny.
though.
This is not even a penny. It's a 356. I looked at the 56 cents. I thought it was a 53 or 56 cents. I didn't see the $3 in front.
So would that
Overall,
be that you look for a dollar up?
yeah, I like looking for tickers that are under dollar, but they have the potential to go over dollars. But with the momentum help, if I see the momentum is downtrending in weekly or daily, and then I'm seeing that they're sitting at 60, then I don't mess with that. I just like to those that is sitting on 60, that it came from 40 into 60, but I'm also seeing weekly, monthly, and daily bullish, and they're showing room to run 80, and so on and so on. That's what catches my attention, is seeing those uptrends, but also seeing that it was actually uptrending already. So but other than that, this is another one that we just kind of found right now. Look, 520. This is another one that you should keep close eye, because you're gonna tell that
What was that ticker?
is LM and L. It does some insane dollars. It falls on the five, goes over five, falls on the five, and then it just does the same thing. You see what it does here? Look, it
Mhm.
goes and it does crazy, like 420, and then it goes over five, and then it comes back down to the on the four again, and it goes over five. And right now, if you wait on this 4 hours to come back down into the 480, you'll probably end up getting the seven, because
Oh, so I'm looking at that. So what I would do is I'll wait for the reset, 4 hour reset on that one, and then that will be when I enter and then ride it back up
yep, you know why you're gonna wait on the 4 hours reset? You seeing this K
because
right here?
we looked at the 4 hour heat.
Yeah, you're looking at the 4 hours heat, but you know why it's the 4 hours heat right now? Remember how I was
Why?
mentioning that lower time frames direct bigger time frames. You see how this weekly right here? You see this K?
Mm-hmm.
You see how stretched
Yeah.
off it is?
Right.
Remember where your dip becomes? Your dip becomes into the K coming into D. But if K comes into
Right.
D, it's because there is a 4 hours that's being resetting right now. So what I'm saying is, if I put this 4 hours line here, if I put it actually it was here, the weekly that it did the bounce. If I put that blue line there, let me show you. You see where the actually no, this is where it bounced first. So let's move the line on this one here. That K coming into D here. You
Go
see
back
where
to
K
4
came
hours.
into D here?
Right.
The line came, it came to the 440. So that became the bounce, K coming into D, and look where it did reset. The 4 hours reacted back into $5. So what I'm saying is K follows price. If K stretches off 2D too much, your potential is for that K to come back into D with a reset, and you dip that reset and you dip that K into D to have that potential profit bounce of K on weekly to go up. So it's gonna go, this is your dip, and that is your kind of exit. Because if you go back to 4 hours, you're going to tell that this is your dip and this is your exit, because it's 4 hours heat, right? So your next one what you're saying is you're gonna wait on the 4 hours reset again. Is because once 4 hours comes back into a reset, guess who's gonna come back into D? K is. K
Okay.
is gonna go into D. Reset becomes your dip. Weekly becomes your potential. That K is gonna bounce off a dip again, and it runs $7-8 again. So yes, you're gonna have to wait on the 4 hours, but you're also gonna wait on this K to come back into D, and then potentially have a bounce up. So you're always using weekly, daily, and 4 hours. You're using daily, weekly, monthly, and daily, and something like that to use your lower time frames, because just know that if weekly zigzagging up, right? But I mean my zigzagging up is K going like this: up, down, up, down, up, down. The
Mm-hmm.
up, down is going to be lower time frames, resetting meaning that this is running heat here. For example, 4 hours is going to run heat, 4 hours is going to reset. 4 hours is going to run heat, 4 hours is going to reset, 4 hours is going to run heat, 4 hours is going to reset. This is an example. And then 4 hours is going to run heat, 4 hours is going to reset, and then 4 hours is going to run heat. That's just what I mean by the zigzags. So you either hold a whole weekly potential, which is going to hold this, or you're going to get out, get in, get out, get in, or average dips on every 4 hours reset. That's just based how you're trying to trade, because there's just so many ways to trading it. You can go long, you can accumulate, you can average into every K into D on weekly, meaning that 4 hours will be resetting, and then you just ride, or you just go in on this weekly potential here, and you ride the months coming in that should be running you profit. So it's just all based, the type of trades that you're doing, or how you're doing it, how you're looking at it, or how patient you're being with the ticker. But overall, it's just all based on bigger time frames and being bullish, meaning that like for example, 1 minute in a whole day, 1 minute you're going to get like 15 resets, right? And 15 run heats, or sometimes
Mm-hmm.
10 resets, 10 heat runs in just 1 minute. On 5 minutes, you can probably get two for the day on that same ticker. On the 15 minutes, you're probably not even gonna get one. And sometimes you'll get one because it's going to run more on pre-market. So you know what I'm getting at? Meaning that when daily runs bullish, it's not going to be a 15 times reset in one day. It's going to be a one uptrend for a whole month or 2 months. So you're going to ride that in 2 days, it's going to probably dip a little lower. And then the next week is going to run even higher in between that month, is what I'm trying to say. So overall, it's going to be only one run of heat, and that's how you're trading. It's one run of heat. And and you hold for overall potential. That's what we're holding CTRM, and then we're holding ACST, and then we're holding an NSPR, and we even held ONTX. We held all these ones that already ran $1. Even CTRM ran us $1, I think, right?
Okay.
Let me see TRMs. I know we ran over pretty high, and then we didn't lock profit because
No, we didn't. We were trying to wait for that one.
yep, yeah, that's why we didn't lock profit, because we never got the one. I think we only got like 88, right? No, we actually got the 110.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? It's because I didn't wake up in the
Oh,
middle. That's why. It happened at pre-market, and I didn't wake up, so it's like I held into it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let it be, and I know it's gonna run one again, so we'll catch it again. But as you can see, it was all based on how I'm able to match high time frames with one, but also I'm basing like CTRM. You're gonna see a weekly. You see this huge up and then down. That's already showing me that it can, it's been doing it before. So overall, based on monthly, just starting, and based on weekly, yeah, still has momentum. So by the time weekly starts churning, we eventually, we'll catch it when it eventually starts turning. But overall, you're gonna see it's building pretty nice. That is building towards this 92 again and $1. Now, remember how I was mentioning that 110 that we didn't get out into the $1?
mm-hmm.
You see where it's right here? This is 90. We don't have that 110.
No.
So what I'm saying is,
It's gonna skip past that and keep going.
Right? No, that, but we're also saying that in the weekly showing that he hasn't run 110, but that also means that we're gonna eventually get that 110 during market open hours because we need that 110 print, right?
Oh yeah, because it's
So
weekly.
if we get that 110 market open hours, let's say market open midday or EOD, depending when, if we get the 110 and a midday, what does it mean? That after hours or EOD, we're gonna end up getting even 120, 130. So that's just how you kind of basing it off when it's gonna do it, what time, and just so on when. So overall, market needs to be open for us to get that 110 and to keep going up so we can have that print in the weekly. And even not just on the weekly, but also in the daily, because you're gonna notice here that we don't have that 110. We only have 90. So overall, this thing is just gonna go boom.
Okay.
So you have any questions?
Nope, I got a lot of zigzag notes.
All right, because this is gonna be an even longer video than the previous one. But I actually went
But this
through.
was good.
Yeah, it
I
was.
picked up some more things. So
Right,
every time I talk to you, I pick up more. I don't pick up everything, but I pick up more. And eventually I'll just have all of them to put together.
right. This is gonna be a good one because it's just for people that want a new video, new content. So I was like, it's gonna be a good
But
one. I wasn't really thinking about who. I was like,
oh, then I came up. Oh yeah,
yep,
perfect.
perfect.
But this would be good because it helps me to come up with my plans in the morning. And now I know what to do with the plans in the morning and the time frame. So that helps me put the plan together, which is important because sometimes, there's a big market. You can't see all the tickets.
Right.
So,
No, yeah, you can't.
and then when things are looking slow on one thing and I say, oh, I didn't get in this and there's nobody calling out any alerts, then that means I go back to my list and I look to see what's going on.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Whenever you market open, I always look for those resets 4 hours. I always look for those you wanted to match 4 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, even 30 minutes, because the resets are the ones that run into heat, and that becomes the potential because you can notice that the heats are the ones that usually whenever they're on heat, they becomes the potential of fading. And if you're going against heat, yeah, you're going to pretty much you're gonna have to ride that thing if you don't want to get out. But that is when you use your trade. If you notice that 4 hours starting to take a turn, that's when you're like, okay, I just got in, and then 4 hours already taking a turn. I'm not gonna risk that. Let me
Wow.
get out.
Yeah, that's too
And you
long.
jump into
Uh-huh.
and then midday comes and you see a nice little bullish ticker that's running and that's running an intention, and that intention leads to a pre-market run EOD profit. Then you get into that, and then you start making money, and then you even recover what you lost from the other one, or even if you did before you were able to tell weakness. So overall, you have to be able to manage that at the how you close and how you pattern it out your account.
Okay. All right. I got some stuff to work with. I got to go practice now. So
Okay.
expect questions between today and tomorrow in the group.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be
I'm gonna
waiting
be
for it.
practicing,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
I gotta catch it while I can still ask questions, and then I'm sure a lot of times that's why I like when other people ask questions. When they ask questions, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I was wondering the same thing. So I'll be helping other people too when I ask my questions.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, but yeah, you can always probably message me if you have any questions, while we're over. But this is gonna help you too, but when I post it on YouTube, you'll be able to go back and then
And I could listen to it
and listen
again.
to it again, stuff that you weren't able to catch, especially those ones that you couldn't hear my voice. If you recorded the voice actually in this thing, so you'll be able to catch my voice there, but I'm sure you pretty
Yeah,
catch
it'll
it.
be clear on the video.
Right.
Hmm. Perfect.
Okay, well,
Perfect.
you have
Perfect.
a nice day, and
Well,
then
I thank you
anything, just
so much.
you're welcome. You have a nice weekend.
All right. You
Bye.
too.
Bye.
Bye bye.